People living near the shores of Lake Winnebago are dealing with a nasty nuisance.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's anything that the rain will turn away. They come back every year, but usually not quite this early, and the DNR says not quite this many. Fox 11's Lindsay Veremis has more tonight on the hatching of the lake flies from Oshkosh.
It's a picture-perfect day, marred by just one thing, or many things.
A biblical plague of locusts. Only these are lake flies.
In his 25 years living in this Oshkosh home near Lake Winnebago, Richard Breaker says he's never seen lake flies this bad or this early.
You want to do this and you want to do this, and the dog is shaking himself. And
a fog of flies has plastered his driveway, caked the walls, and swarmed the car. Even indoors, Breaker says you can't fully escape.
you wake up at night and what's that noise?
Guess it's safe to say Snickers has had less exercise than usual.
You open the door and a horse swarm comes in and my carpet's full of flies and I have to vacuum all the time.
If you take a walk here in Menominee Park, you'll get a sense of what people living near Lake Winnebago are dealing with. The DNR says the lake is essentially a lake fly factory, the perfect climate for growth. Fisheries expert Ron Brooks says we've seen an early hatch because of the warm spring. He expects the flies will last about 10 days, a nuisance, but important nutrient.
It's the base of the food web for almost all the fish that live in Lake Winnebago.
People on the lake's west shore are seeing the brunt of the flies because of the eastern winds. Brooks says it's not a pretty sight, but better than the alternative.
They hatch and they mate and they die. And whereas mosquitoes hatch, they like to bite something, then they mate, then they die.
It's just annoying.
But he says worth it to live here. Lindsay Veremis, Fox 11 News.
Now, while the DNR says this is a bigger hatch, it won't last any longer than a traditional season. The lake fly, by the way, is considered to be the first cousin to the mosquito. That will, of course, stop by for a visit later in the season.